Our boy gets sent to a world where primitive is an understatement. We are talking zero hygiene, no soap, and forget about showers. They haven't even been invented yet. In this place, strength is everything. The women only choose the toughest guys to have babies with, and somehow, he climbed the ranks to become the king of the tribe. Now, every girl in the village is lining up to have his child. Talk about a glow-up. Time flies when you are the boss, though. Then came that one full moon night. He headed out to check his traps, and that is when he noticed something heavy hanging from one of them. He moved in to investigate. It was dead silent, definitely not a wild beast. He gripped his sharp axe, heart racing, and prepared for the worst, but what he actually saw, completely unexpected. It was his friend. She had managed to stumble right into his trap, and honestly, she was stuck in a pretty, interesting pose. His eyes lit up. This was a view and a half. The girl, obviously fuming, snapped at him, asking if he was just going to stand there staring or actually help her down. He just grinned. "This is a rare sight," he teased. She did not find it funny at all, screaming that she was going to kick his butt the second she got loose. Our guy just laughed. With that tiny foot? To mess with her even more, he actually leaned down and blew on her foot. Then he started massaging it. Slowly. The elf turned bright red, making some pretty unique noises. "Seriously, dude, you are playing with fire here." She got even more panicked when she heard her people approaching. To save her the embarrassment of being found hanging there with her legs spread, he finally cut her loose. Look, being king wasn't always this easy for him. Before the village girls were fighting over him, the men were literally hunting him down. To understand how we got here, we have to go back to the very beginning. It all started when he woke up in this strange land. He was just trying to grab some water to wash his face when reality hit him. How did he end up here? Yesterday, he was just a normal guy shopping in the city. Suddenly, he heard voices nearby. A group of people were walking toward him, talking in a weird language. At first, he legit thought they were just dedicated cosplayers. He tried asking for the exit, but instead of a map, a kid chucked a sharpened bone at him. It whistled right past his ear. Missed him by a centimeter. And hey, some people still try to say 7 centimeters is small. That was a near-death experience. He didn't wait for a second shot, he just bolted. In his head, he was golden. He used to be a runner, so he figured these primitives would never catch him. Wrong. A spear sliced right across his belly. That is when the system finally kicked in with a simple command. Survive. Mission? Stay alive for 12 hours to earn 1 attribute point and a survival pack. But he was already pinned down by a massive, hairy dude. The guy threw a bone with everything he had. Our protagonist ran like his life depended on it because it did, but he wasn't fast enough. The hit landed square in his neck. Everything went black. When he finally woke up in their village, the clock had run out. He actually survived and got his rewards. No time to waste. He dumped his 1 point into strength and ripped open that survival pack. Boom. Instant upgrade. He learned every language, got a survival guide, and unlocked a mini-map that tracked everywhere he traveled. And the icing on the cake? A mountain-splitting axe. Plus, he suddenly knew everything about the jungle and basic medicine. He looked over at the primitives again, but this time, he could actually understand them. One guy was bragging about being the toughest warrior, while a woman nearby was shouting about wanting to have his baby. Guess child support hadn't been invented yet either. Our boy realized he was basically playing a real-life civilization game, and it was still in the early stages. If he played his cards right, he could become the president or even a literal god in this new world. He told the system to dump everything into strength and equip the mountain-splitting axe. Power surged through his veins, and Chen snapped those unbreakable ropes like they were wet noodles. He wasn't alone. 2 warriors, Stonebone and Languchi, spotted him immediately. Stonebone barked orders to block the exit. He and Languchi stepped forward, basically telling Chen he was trapped with nowhere to run. Full of pure swagger, Chen shouted back, "How dare you disrespect your god?" Stonebone just blinked at him, completely confused about what god he was talking about. Looking at Languchi, Chen figured this guy was the one in charge. He declared that heaven sent him to rule, and since they offended him, punishment was coming. That was the final straw for Stonebone. He charged straight at Chen in a rage. Right then, a new system mission popped up. Intimidate the primitives and force them to submit. Become their leader. The stakes? If he fails, he loses the mountain-splitting axe forever. Chen tensed up. Without that axe, he was toast in this world. Refusing to lose, he stood his ground and met Stonebone's attack head-on. The impact was insane. The ground beneath them literally cracked. Chen was actually shocked these primitive guys were way stronger than they looked. But he wasn't the same weakling anymore. Chen pushed back with everything he had, and with a loud snap, Stonebone's weapon was sliced clean in half. The entire camp went dead silent. Everyone was absolutely stunned by the power of that axe. But then, the vibe shifted. Chen felt a chill down his spine, and for good reason. Stonebone didn't back down. He yelled for the entire tribe to swarm Chen at once. Wait, what happened to the duel? Chen turned and booked it. He couldn't believe it, these guys were really ganging up on one 24-year-old. As one kid lunged at him, Chen didn't panic. He slipped to the side and fired back in one smooth, deadly motion. Pissed off and cornered, Chen throws a massive bluff, warning those thugs that he'll take 5 of them to the grave if they don't back off right now. Deep down, he's sweating. He knows if those barbarians actually swarm him, he's dead in 10 seconds flat. No then? Absolute chaos. The barbarians suddenly freak out and bolt like they've seen a ghost, leaving Chen totally confused until his system pings with a new mission. Objective: save the locals by driving off a ferocious saber-toothed tiger. And of course, the system already accepted it for him. Chen's busy staring at the screen in confusion, but that vanishes the second he realizes a literal saber-tooth is standing right behind him. The second Chen locks eyes with the beast, he pulls a total 180 and runs for his life. The tiger is relentless, swiping at him with every stride. Panicking, Chen starts wondering why everything in this world is so obsessed with eating him. He's also cursing out the system like, who thought assigning a death trap mission like this was a good idea? One bite from that thing would take off half his torso. Then, pain flares up as a massive claw rakes across his back, leaving him badly hurt. Realizing he can't win a fair fight, Chen forces himself to stop screaming internally and actually use his brain. He spots smoke in the distance and remembers the golden rule: beasts hate fire. Time to turn the tables using those flames. He starts plotting his escape, even shouting a challenge at the tiger to keep its eyes on him. When it lunges, Chen tries a cool slide to dodge, but to his horror, the beast uses his body like a springboard and leaps right off him. Shaken and realizing movies lied to him, Chen takes off again, using the brush and trees as cover to reach the bonfire alive. After some desperate dodging and weaving, Chen finally makes it within reach of the flames. He grabs a burning branch and waves it at the tiger like a madman. To his massive relief, the beast actually backs off, terrified of the fire. Chen acts tough, calling for the tiger to come get some, but deep down, he's praying it just leaves. Then a sound, something deep and bone-chilling. As another roar echoes through the woods, the saber-tooth freezes in pure terror and hits the bricks. Watching it flee, Chen's blood runs cold, wondering what could possibly scare a predator that big. And if that thing is running, what should he do? Suddenly, the system pings mission complete. His reward? 2 attribute points. Hearing those strange sounds again, Chen decides that living is his top priority and gets the hell out of there. He tells the system to dump 1 point into strength and 1 into agility. With his speed boosted, he sprints back toward the tribe. Immediately, Chen feels the change. He's faster, lighter, and moving like a pro athlete. When he shows up alive, Stonebone's jaw hits the floor. He asks how the tiger didn't eat him, but Chen just smirks and calls the beast a little kitty. He brags about beating it so badly it ran away in fear, hoping these primitive people will finally start looking up to him. But the grind never stops. New mission: help them build homes, form a tribe, and grow the population to 50 within 18 days. He does a quick head count and winces, including the kids. There are only 15 people total. To hit 50, Chen realizes he'll have to absorb other tribes into his own. That night, everyone else crashes, but Chen is wide awake. He's starving, so he heads out to scavenge. He notices the tribe's people are bold or stupid enough to sleep without a single guard. Still, his stomach is screaming for food. He remembers the roasted lamb from earlier but hesitates, feeling a bit uneasy. Think about it, if something could scare a saber-toothed tiger, then something truly legendary must be lurking nearby. Chen tries to shake it off. He needs to eat to survive, and hopefully, he won't run into whatever that monster was. Axe in hand, he cautiously heads back toward the spot where he saw that roasted lamb before. He moves like a ghost, alert for any movement. As he gets closer, he spots other prey animals scattered around too. Now that he's the leader, Chen knows he can't just look out for number 1, so he starts gathering up the extra food for the tribe. But on the way back, his spidey sense tingles, and suddenly, boom, he falls straight into a massive pit. Curious, Chen starts shouting about who dug a hole in the middle of nowhere, but then he takes a closer look. It's not a pit, it's a footprint. A massive, earth-shaking footprint from some kind of giant, basically a prehistoric dinosaur. After seeing the saber tooth, he should have known this place isn't just primitive, it's an era filled with history's most terrifying monsters. Knowing time is running out, Chen realizes he needs to find a real, safe fortress for his people immediately. The next morning is a mess. The primitives are fighting over food like animals. Fed up, Chen yells at them to stop snatching. He realizes these guys have 0 manners or resource management skills, and he's got a lot of teaching to do. Chen lays down the law. The food goes to the hunters who actually went out with him that day first. Stonebone explains their usual rotation, saying yesterday's group was him, Ain, and Hanggu. Today, it's Looting, Hu Xiao, and Languchi's turn. Stonebone adds that everyone wants to hunt if their king is leading the way. The squad is all in, but then Chen spots a familiar face. It is Sam, the same kid who tried to jump him before. Awkward. Chen's not about that petty drama, though. He figures the kid is just terrified of a grudge, so he decides to be the bigger man. He announces that anyone, and he means anyone, can join him on a little scouting mission. They are going house hunting, well, tribe hunting. A girl named Mia steps up, looking totally lost. Wait, King, what exactly is a home anyway? Chen breaks it down for her. A home isn't just a place to sleep. It is where they will live together as one single tribe. Like deep roots in the earth, it is a place that feeds them and keeps everyone safe, not just for now, but for the generations coming after them. Mia's face literally lights up. She sprints over and gives Chen a massive hug, asking if she gets to live with her king forever. Chen just smiles. Of course, one big happy family. But then, Mia gets a little too hyped. She starts shouting to everyone that the king wants to live with her and have a bunch of kids. Take a breath, Mia. Stonebone brings things back to reality, asking the big question. Where exactly are they going to build this home? Chen gathers the group. He explains they need the perfect spot, wide open ground with mountains to the north to block the wind and rivers flowing to the south. They need fresh water for drinking and farming, fields for the animals to graze, and plenty of wood and stone for construction. It would also be way safer if they had seeds and timber right nearby for their houses and crops. Then Chen drops a game changer. He wants to be near the ocean too. A river delta means rich soil and, eventually, a chance to learn how to sail. That is when Sam pipes up, saying he knows a spot just like that. Chen is impressed. He asks Sam if he can lead the way. But Sam, he looks worried. He says it is not far, but they probably shouldn't go there. Apparently, there is a herd of cows there, and he says they are dangerous. Chen is just confused. Dangerous. Cows? Since when do we fear beef? To Chen, that just sounds like a mountain of free meat and resources. He tells everyone to gear up. The herd is officially on the menu. And just like that, they are trekking east toward their new future. Cut to the location Sam was talking about. Sam promises the route is safe, so they keep moving without any stress. Chen tells the group to relax, don't even worry about that saber-toothed tiger from before. It already got chased off. And honestly, if it shows its face again, Chen will personally handle it. Sam explains that once they reach the very top of the mountain, they will finally be able to see where the herd hangs out. The second they hit the summit, Sam starts panicking and tells everyone to stay low. The cows are right below them. Chen is skeptical. Is there a secret monster down there or something? Then he catches the scent of the sea. He asks his system to pull up the map, and oh boy, he's liking what he sees. This area is city building gold. But suddenly, Sam yanks him back and signals for total silence. He's terrified the herd might hear them. After a bit, Chen checks his manual. He finds 5 different things in the area ahead, 3 plants, and 2 animals. We are looking at green sunflower grass, dragon wine, and big sabaki for the plants. As for the animals, just some gray squirrels and pincer wasps. Still zero info on this deadly cow herd, though. Chen turns to Sam and asks for their exact location. Sam points toward a small forest right by the river bend and offers to sneak them a little closer. 30 minutes later, they hit the tree line. Sam whispers that one more step, and they will alert the whole herd. Chen thinks the silence is creepy. Why is Sam so terrified of some cows? But then his system scan suddenly goes haywire. He tenses up. Are there giant monsters nearby? To his relief, the scan only shows one animal in the area. Chen turns to Sam, wondering if the kid's memory is just fuzzy. But before Sam can even answer, Chen sees a tree move. Sam points up, and when Chen looks, he freezes. What kind of nightmare monster is that? The system finally pings. It is an iron black horned cow, and yeah, it's a beast. Hiding behind a rock, Stonebone is literally shaking. King, are we seriously going to hunt that thing? Chen is just as tense, but he plays it cool. He orders them to set an ambush while he goes to check it out himself. The tribe is just staring at him, in total awe. What a legend. But the moment he is behind a tree, Chen is practically in tears. How did I end up in this mess? He doesn't want his people to get wiped out, so he's putting all his chips on his agility stat. He takes another look. The cow's front legs are literally bigger than his entire body. He tries to find the perfect opening. Staying calm, Chen actually tries to give it a friendly hello. Bad move. The second it spots him, its face twists into a snarl and it lets out a massive roar. Before he knows it, the entire herd is charging right at him. Chen is hauling it across the river, screaming for them to stop chasing him for 2 seconds. Back with the tribe, they have totally misunderstood the situation. They think their king is being a hero, bravely drawing the herd away to save his people. While they are busy being inspired, Chen yeets himself off a ridge without thinking and lands on a ledge. Suddenly, the whole cliff shakes. Chen is like, wait, what just happened? He looks down and sees one of the cows just slammed headfirst into the mountain because it couldn't stop its own momentum. Lightbulb moment. Chen realizes these beef tanks can't climb this high. If he plays his cards right, he can take down the whole herd from up here. He looks back, trying to plan his next move. Climbing down is a death sentence with those enraged cows waiting, so there is only one way to go. Up, Chen climbs even higher, and when he finally reaches the peak, the view leaves him absolutely breathless. It is exactly what he has been dreaming of. Right then and there, he decides he is going to build a massive empire on this perfect land. Pure hype. Our guy felt it. This was the real start of his legend. Meanwhile, Sam watched the herd scatter, wondering what on earth happened to their king. Stonebone was convinced Chen had been flattened like a pancake under those massive hooves. He scrambled up a tree to find the king's axe, assuming he wouldn't need it anymore. Then twack, the axe buried itself right next to his head. Stonebone froze in total shock. Chen just laughed, calling him out for having the nerve to think his king could go down that easily. The group breathed a massive sigh of relief seeing him standing. Then Stonebone asked, were those beasts actually that tough? Chen just grinned. That meat? Pure fuel to level up his body. Then he dropped the question. Anyone else want a bite? Hard pass. Sam and Stonebone weren't interested. Fighting those monsters felt impossible, and eating them? Yeah, not happening. Chen's eyes narrowed. Are you ignoring me? He snapped. Terrified, the whole group suddenly changed their minds loud and clear. Yes, we'll eat it, they yelled. Perfect. Now, Chen was going to show them how real warriors craft weapons and hunt. 3 days. That's all he needed to prep for the hunt. Then crack. Chen cleaved a massive tree apart with one single, devastating swing. Total silence. Stonebone, confused as usual, stepped up and asked why he wasted his energy on a tree that didn't even have fruit. Chen just smirked. This isn't for snacks, it's for gear. Now watch closely and learn something. Began carving spears, showing them the ropes. Suddenly, his system pinged a nice little bonus to his technology stats. Sweet, time for a demo. Chen stepped back, took aim, and let it fly. The tribe just stood there with their jaws on the floor. To them, wood was just for fires. They never dreamed it could be turned into a tool of absolute destruction. Everyone was hyped to try. Chen pointed at Stonebone. You're up first. While he practiced, Chen kept the production line moving. Give it just a few hours and you've got a whole tribe turning into a legitimate spear-throwing squad. Training check. Chen challenged 2 of them to a 2-on-1. They charged in hot, but Chen, he just danced right past them. One counter move, and Hu Jiao was out cold. Enraged, Lu Tang charged again and actually managed to draw a tiny bit of blood. The crowd went dead silent. Chen looked him in the eye. If the business end of that spear was sharp, you'd be a corpse. Our king is a freaking god, Lu Tang shouted. They truly believed they stood zero chance against someone that powerful. Chen shook his head. Strength isn't everything, it's about skill. That pointy tip? That's the secret. You aim, and you strike true. Back to basics target practice. He set up a mark and told everyone to fire away from a distance. One by one, they tried. And one by one, they missed. Every single shot. Chen started to wonder if he'd overestimated his people. But then whoosh out of nowhere, a spear buried itself right in the bullseye. Chen blinked. No way. The crowd was just as stunned. He looked back and saw Huang Shu standing there, totally calm. Did you do that? Chen asked. Huang Shu just shrugged and asked one thing. So, did I win? You win, Chen said, handing over 2 spears as a reward, but then panic. Someone ran up shouting about a beast closing in. Chen gave the order to prep for war, but secretly, he was thrilled. This was the perfect field test for his new hunters. The forest exploded as a monster burst out, roaring. Chen didn't hesitate. Dinner served, boys, he shouted, charging right in. The battle was on. Chen barked orders surround the thing and wait for my signal. Don't go rogue. He struck first, and weirdly, the beast started slowing down. Now, Chen yelled to Stonebone and Hangy. Hit it from behind. The spears landed, and the beast went ballistic. It slammed into Chen, sending him flying and snapping his spear like a toothpick. Chen needed to move, but Huang was faster. He launched a spear that hit that monster right in its gaping maw. Talk about a deadeye. Chen was impressed. Soon, the whole tribe joined in while Sam watched from above, ready to pounce. The monster tried to bolt under the pressure, but Chen blocked its path. Sam, take the shot. Sam dropped like a shadow, driving his spear into the creature's head, but instead of dying, it went full berserk mode. Everyone froze. Sam was a sitting duck. He was still holding on as the beast thrashed. Chen sprinted, leaped high, and brought his axe down. Kaboom! A massive shockwave hit, and the entire clearing was swallowed by thick, blinding smoke. Everyone was screaming for their king, but when the smoke cleared, Chen was standing there. Shut it, he joked. You sound like you're summoning ghosts. He gave them a thumbs up. They did great. Tonight, we feast. The crowd absolutely lost it with excitement. Congratulated Sam, then turned to Hangy. You're the real MVP of this entire hunt. From here on, Hangy was in the inner circle, testing out all the new gear. Cut to a bit later back at the village. There was Stone Bone, acting like the big man on campus, bragging to everyone about how he totally saved the day. Mia walked by with a juicy cut of meat, and Stone Bone didn't hesitate. "Hey, hand that over, will ya?" Mia refused, saying that meat was strictly for their king. She handed it to Chen, but he just stared at it, asking if they were seriously about to eat it raw. Mia gave him a look, like, "What's the problem?" and asked what he found so strange about it. Chen pointed out he'd seen them use fire before. So why on earth were they going back to eating raw meat now? Mia explained that they'd lost their only fire source from last time. No choice. Chen realized this was huge. Fire is the true spark of civilization. It keeps beasts away, makes a home actually feel safe, and makes food taste 10 times better. He decided this tribe needed one more legendary gift. He was going to teach these people the ancient secret of making fire from scratch. He grabbed a broken spear and started working it against a wooden block. Friction, baby. He was looking for that perfect spark. He told them to pack dry wood shavings and tree fluff into the groove. "Now, roll the stick between your palms," he ordered. "Build that heat." When a tiny flame finally flickered to life, the entire tribe was stunned. Stone Bone started screaming at the top of his lungs that their king had literally created fire. He wanted the whole world to hear it, but Chen quickly grabbed him and told him to shut it. Keeping a low profile was the goal here. Boom! Quest reward. Chen scored 10 technology points, and he realized earning these things might actually be easier than he thought. At first, he was clueless about what they were for, but after checking the system, he figured it out. These points could identify mysterious hereditary plaques, and each ID was going to cost him 10 points. While he was processing that, Sam walked over. He'd noticed something while butchering the boar the animal had clearly been nursing. That meant babies were nearby. Sure enough, after a quick search, they found them. Instantly, a new side quest popped up for Chen. Mission: pen up those boar cubs and domesticate them. The system flashed a prompt asking if he was ready to accept. Chen sent Mia and Sam out to bring the little guys back. "Be careful," he warned. "Don't hurt them. I want every single one of them alive and well." Mia grabbed Sam's hand and they bolted toward the cubs. Meanwhile, Chen decided he needed to build a proper pigsty before they got back. He shouted for Stone Bone to finish his meal quick. It was time to get to work. By evening, Stone Bone was hauling heavy branches, complaining to his friends about why their king needed so many sticks. When they got back to the den, Stone Bone saw everyone making something weird. Confused, he asked Hangu what was going on. Hangu told him the king called it grass rope. It was way stronger than those old vines they used to use, and he even showed him how to do it. You had to smooth the straw out first, then braid it tight by crossing the strands. Stone Bone just got more annoyed. He still had no clue what the plan was. Chen yelled at him to stop standing around and bring the supplies over. He had the team pick up the branches and lash them together with a new rope. They needed 5 solid wooden frames, minimum. Chen then had them drop the frames into pits he dug. They tied the tops together into a cage shape and covered the whole thing in straw. The second it was finished, the whole tribe went wild. They rushed into the pigsty, fighting over who got to live in this fancy new nest and bear the king's children. Chen froze at the sight. "Guys, it's a pigsty. It's not for you." Just then, Sam and Mia showed up with the cubs and told Sam to put the piglets inside. Hearing that, Stone Bone actually burst into tears, crying that Chen couldn't be serious. He started protesting, asking how a nest this nice could be wasted on wild boars. Ajin was right there with him, totally heartbroken. They all wanted in. Stone Bone even cried that they just wanted a home where they could cuddle up with their king, and furiously shoved them away. "I have zero interest in cuddling with a grown man. Get back." He told them he didn't care if they wanted the pigsty now, but once he built real houses, they were officially off the guest list. Agent froze. He quickly changed his tune, saying if a better nest existed, he was fine waiting. He even told Chen to let Stone Bone have the pigsty. Now Stone Bone didn't want it either. Chen ignored the whining and ordered Sam to get those boars inside. Hongshu walked up, puzzled. "Why are we raising these things if we're just going to eat them anyway?" Chen just smiled and asked, "Wouldn't you rather have plenty to eat without having to hunt every single day?" Hangu screamed, "Yes," and Chen explained the magic of breeding. Quest complete. Chen finally got his reward. He opened the supply chest and found a packet of salt and a recipe for fried clams. "Wait, what?" Chen just stared at it, wondering if the system was trying to turn him into a professional chef or something. Even though they were in the Stone Age, the system hinted that cooking tasks would unlock some seriously special rewards. Fine then. Chen decided to give it a shot. Late that night, while the tribe slept, only Chen and Sam were still awake. Chen praised Sam for his non-stop hard work. Sam just shrugged, saying he felt he had to work twice as hard after the trouble he caused earlier. Chen laughed and gave him a big hug, promising Sam that there were absolutely no grudges between them. They were family now. Next, Chen asked if any other tribes were lurking nearby. Sam nodded, saying they'd crossed paths with a few, but they weren't friendly at all. Plus, They looked nothing like his own people. Chen didn't miss a beat. He needed to know exactly where these groups were hiding out. Sam laid it out. 3 clans ruled the area: the Coconut Grove clan, the Bay clan, and the heavy hitters, the Giant Stone clan. But here's the kicker: they were far. We're talking at least a full day and night of hardcore travel just to reach their borders. Chen wanted the full breakdown. Sam started with the Coconut Grove clan, 30 or 40 people who preferred traveling over fighting, all led by one seriously powerful woman. Then came the Bay clan. Similar numbers, maybe 30 or 40, but these guys, way more intimidating. According to Sam, these guys were absolute savages, constantly at each other's throats and fighting among themselves. Finally, there was the Giant Stone clan, the strongest and biggest of the bunch. They usually stayed up on their mountain to the southwest, only coming down occasionally. And get this, Sam heard their leader has actual divine power, like killing a tiger with his bare hands level of insane. And processed all of this. If Sam was telling the truth, he knew exactly what his first move had to be. The Coconut Grove clan was the perfect target for his first expansion. The others were way too volatile, so he needed a peaceful way to bring them into the fold. Suddenly, Chen felt a presence. He turned around only to find Mia wrapping him in a surprise back hug. She whispered, asking why he wasn't in bed yet, and then dropped the big question. Did he want to do something exciting with her? Talk about awkward. Chen tensed up and gave a firm no. When Mia tried to act like a cute kitty, he panicked, grabbed Sam's hand, and claimed Sam needed urgent help with something. He gave her a quick word later, then practically sprinted away with Sam. For Mia, she looked pretty hurt by that rejection. But the next morning, things got serious as Chen and Sam waited by the coast for the Bay clan to show. It didn't take long. The Bay clan finally hit the shore, hunting down a dodo bird for their next meal. Chen was relieved they'd finally shown up after a long night of waiting. But then, things got weird. The Bay clan members started brawling with each other over the bird. This got Chen thinking. If his tribe could absorb these guys, they wouldn't just gain numbers, they'd lock down those dodo bird resources for good. But Sam dropped a reality check. Their tribe had less than half the Bay clan's numbers. In a fair fight, they'd get crushed. Chen figured better weapons could even those odds. But first, they had to deal with that herd of cows standing in their way. Once they secured those resources, they could craft legendary gear. With the plan set, they headed back to the den, where the whole tribe lit up seeing Chen return. Stonebone looked like he'd seen a ghost, admitting they all thought their king had abandoned them for good. Chen apologized for the scare, but told them there was no time to waste, they still had a mountain of work to do. He ordered Stonebone back to spear practice and put Huang Shu in charge of the others. One day, that's all the time they had to get combat ready. Then Mia showed up holding a leaf, talking about how comfortable it was for bathroom business. Yeah, things got weird again. Chen steered the conversation back to survival, telling her he needed help sharpening spears. His orders? Gather the women and start collecting rocks. A while later, Mia and the girls returned, loaded down with stones. She looked at him, hopeful, asking if these would do the trick. Chen gave the thumbs up. He explained the process. They had to grind those stones on a wet rock until they were razor sharp. After that, they'd lash the sharpened stone to a wooden shaft with some rope, and just like that, you've got a stone-tipped weapon. The women were blown away by the tech jump. Chen, though, he was just annoyed that the system only gave him one measly point for it. He told them to keep it moving and show him what else they could produce under his guidance. Mia called him over, excited because she'd already finished a double-edged spear. Chen was genuinely impressed and gave her some well-deserved praise. Mia's smile was pure gold, and right then, Chen unlocked a hidden talent discovery feature. This is huge. He scanned Mia, and the system confirmed it. She had a natural talent for toolmaking. She caught him staring and shyly asked why he was looking at her like that. Chen dodged the question and ordered the women to crank out as many spears and axes as humanly possible. Slowly, but surely, the pile grew to 30 weapons total. Chen praised Mia again. She personally made over half of them. But then he noticed her hands all scraped and raw from the stone grinding. When he showed some genuine concern, Mia started blushing hard. Instantly, the other girls swarmed him, teasingly asking if he cared about them too. Chen tried to play it cool, but they were already getting way too close for comfort. He beat a hasty retreat, shouting that work was done for the day and everyone should go get some rest. He headed over to check on the men's training, and WHOOSH. A massive wooden log came flying straight at his head. He dodged it by a hair. This wasn't an accident, it was part of their new, brutal training regimen. Hanggu was clearly not playing around. Chen asked for an update, and Hanggu beamed. The guys had leveled up significantly, hitting targets was basically second nature to them now. Chen's talent discovery confirmed it. Hanggu was a certified throwing master. No wonder they were improving so fast. Hanggu added that while Luing was a beast in terms of raw strength, his timing was off. He only reached his full potential when Stonebone was by his side. Languchi was a total natural, mastering the moves before anyone else. But the real shocker? Hangu and Stonebone's teamwork was on a whole different level. Separately, they were just average. But together, they were a spear-throwing machine, alternating 4 at a time like absolute pros. Chen couldn't hide his grin. At this rate, that herd of black bulls was basically history. Stonebone, though, he wasn't so sure. You certain about this, King? Chen just nodded. To be safe, they were bringing out the big guns, the secret weapon. Hangu blinked, totally lost. Secret weapon? What secret weapon? Chen pulled out these mysterious black leaves. He told the crew to listen up, look closely, and gather every single one they could find. Watch it, he warned. Do not touch these if you've got an open cut. These plants were packing a natural paralytic, lethal stuff. At night, Chen started hacking away at a stone. Mia showed up with the spears, looking confused at the shallow hole he carved into the rock. Chen just smirked. It's a mortar, Mia. You'll see why in a second. He told her to get the women together, crush those leaves into a paste, and smear it on the spear tips. Even Looting and the guys wanted in on the action. Nope, Chen told them. You guys rest. Save your strength. I'm gonna need every bit of your muscle for the hunt tomorrow. Next morning, Chen's chilling, eating grilled meat with a pinch of salt. Suddenly, whoosh, Mia tosses a spear his way. Coating's finished, she signaled. Chen stood up. Ladies, stay back. Guard the camp and the kids. Everyone else, move out to the mountain. The whole tribe erupted with excitement. They grabbed their weapons, adrenaline already pumping through their veins. It was time to show those beasts who was really in charge. A short trek later, they finally reached the summit. Ain was biting his lip, looking at the valley below. Is it really okay for our king to be out there, as bait all by himself? He was clearly terrified. Stonebone didn't flinch. The king is incredibly strong, he'll be fine. Then Sam cut in. Heads up, something's moving down by the river. Mia, get the women ready, Stonebone ordered. Keep those spears coming on time, especially to Sam once we're in position. Their king was putting his life on the line. Losing him? Not an option. Not today. So, how did we get here? Let's rewind. 10 minutes ago, Chen was eyeing the bulls. Fleeing to the mountain worked before, but he needed to be smart. He decided to bait one of the smaller ones first. He walked right up and thwack. He chucked a stone straight at it. Hey, I'm the leader here. Come and get me. Well, it worked. Too well. 3 massive bulls flew into a rage and charged him instantly. Chen took off sprinting, shouting at the top of his lungs, Stonebone, target the first bull. Now! Stonebone didn't miss a beat. Fire. Spears rained down, tearing into the bulls' hides. It worked. They were hit and wounded. Seeing the opening, Sam didn't hesitate. He sent his spears flying straight for their necks with deadly accuracy. The bulls slammed into the cliffside. Chen tried to scramble up a ledge, but his hands slipped pure panic. Luckily, Stonebone grabbed him just in time. Don't stop, Chen barked, catching his breath. They're weak. Keep the pressure on. The assault was relentless. Stonebone stepped up, calling the shots and directing every strike with surgical precision. Chen watched him, impressed. The guy was a natural leader. Definitely someone worth grooming into a true commander for the tribe. Stonebone reported back a moment later. The bulls, they're finally slowing down. Chen allowed himself a small smile. That tranquilizer was working even faster than he'd hoped, but then Sam's voice cracked the air. The rest of the herd? They're charging us too. Chen was stunned by their speed. They were fast. Really fast. Stay calm, he shouted. This is all part of the plan. They just had to finish off the 3 below and make sure none escaped. The bulls tried to back off, but they were stumbling, their legs heavy. The poison had fully kicked in. Aim for the legs, Chen commanded. Keep them from fleeing. Stonebone gave the signal for one final volley, and those 3 bulls finally crashed into the dirt. Stop, Chen yelled. But Stonebone wasn't having it. Now's not the time to be soft, King. We gotta end them before the others get here. Chen ignored the protest. How many spears left? Mia checked the pile quickly. 28. Sam, count 'em. How many? Sam squinted at the horizon. Around 20. Chen nodded. Exactly. That's why we're stopping. They didn't have spears to waste. Hangu looked devastated. So what? We just give up on all the effort we spent on these 3. No, Chen said firmly. Listen, I never planned to fight the whole herd head-on. That's a suicide mission. In the very beginning, there was only one target. The leader. You take down the boss, and the rest will scatter. But to draw him out, we need bait. That's why those black bulls need to stay alive. They can't escape, but they can't die yet. Chen sighed. He'd originally wanted to use just 1 bull, but those extra 2 had cost them way more spears than expected. Suddenly, Sam let out a scream. I see him, the leader. And man, this thing looked like a literal monster. The boss let out a bone-chilling roar, and the entire herd charged the mountain to ram it. Chen froze. Had these bulls gone completely insane? But Chen realized something terrifying. The boss was just getting started. Then, the ground shook. The mountain was literally falling apart. Chen screamed for cover, but Mia couldn't move fast enough and vanished as the slope crumbled. No hesitation, Chen dove straight into the abyss after her, shouting for Aegon to move. Hu Jiao and Langer Choi jumped in too. Talk about a mess. Now, it is do or die. Hu Jiao wanted to charge those bulls, but Aegon held him back. Wait for the lead's call, he warned. Meanwhile, Chen was sweating. The bull boss wasn't just strong. It was smart. It saw through his trap. That kind of intelligence? Frustrating as hell. Stonebone tried to send reinforcements down, but Chen shut that down immediately. Stay back. He needed them high up with the spears. Then, the real chaos erupted. Axes versus horns, let's go. Coordinated strikes. Perfect defense. Working as one, they actually started carving through those beasts. Stonebone saw the opening. Now, rain death on them. Spears flew like a storm from above. Bulls started dropping. Suddenly, the herd froze. It was like the boss just issued a silent command. Get this, the bulls actually retreated. Chen wondered, was the boss clearing the field for a one-on-one? Then the rain hit. Cold, heavy. The boss stepped forward, took a massive breath, and boom. Pure fire erupted from its throat. Scatter, Chen yelled. The blast was insane. It literally tore a hole through the mountain and opened a path to the peak. The tribe was paralyzed with fear. Roar or shockwave, it didn't matter, their morale was absolutely shattered in seconds. Seeing the panic, Chen ordered On to get Mia north. He would be the bait. He would take the heat. He signaled Stonebone to wait and stepped up. I am your opponent, you oversized cow. They slammed into each other head on. Chen was giving it everything he had just to hold the line. The boss? It just tossed him like a rag doll. Chen spotted that path the fire had carved earlier and made a break for it. The boss charged, slamming into the rock with a massive explosion. Everyone froze. Was their leader gone? Even with their hearts sinking, they didn't run. No, they were going to fight until the very end. But then a flash. Chen's axe bit deep into the boss's skull. He used that blast hole to survive. Absolute legend. He even had the nerve to mock the monster for missing. But inside, man, he was hurting bad. Tribe cheered, but Chen wasn't celebrating yet. Stonebone, stay ready. Wait for my word. The grind continued. Ain and Hu Xiao played distraction so Chen could find an opening from behind. Ain took a massive risk, leaping in only to get snagged by one of those wicked horns. Ouch. Chen lunged, slashing the boss's face to free his friend. Another fire blast came, but they dodged, and Chen landed a clean strike. Finally, a real wound. The monster was bleeding out. Stonebone, Sam, the wound. Aim there. The spears hit home, and the massive boss finally hit the dirt. For a second, it felt like victory. People started to cheer. But Chen, he had a bad feeling about this. The herd hadn't run. They were just standing there, waiting, watching. Out of nowhere, the boss lunged back up. It unleashed a torrent of flame right at Chen. Stonebone could only watch in horror. Chen's heart stopped. He'd let his guard down. In this world, that is a death sentence. The boss ripped the spear from its own flesh and hurled it at him. Chen was too slow. This was it. The end. But then, Mia. She stepped right in front of him and took the hit. Chen just froze. Memories of Mia flashed by in a heartbeat. Then, something snapped. Pure, unadulterated rage took over. The system was screaming about a body overload, but Chen didn't care. He charged the bull with everything he had left. One strike. Head to tail. He literally split that monster in two with a full power move. Savage. Still consumed by fury, he turned to the rest of the herd and roared. Who was next? He took one step forward, and that was it. The bulls broke. They turned and ran like their lives depended on it. Once they were gone, the adrenaline faded. That is when the system warning popped up, life in critical danger. Coughed up blood, his vision swimming. The world was going dark as he started to sink. His people rushed to his side. Before he went under, he gasped out one order, get the ointment. For Mia. Days later, Chen finally blinked his eyes open. He was in. A pigsty? And Ao was standing right there. His first thought? Is this the pigsty I built? Ao just shook her head. Not quite the hero's welcome he expected. After driving off those bulls, the group had set up this makeshift shed for our boy. Ao told him to stay put while she went to tell everyone he was finally awake. Chen stopped her right there. He needed status reports. What about Mia and Langucho? Ao told him Langucho was barely hanging on at first, but the guy recovered fast. Since waking up, he'd been playing bodyguard right outside Chen's door. Mia, though, she'd been hit a lot harder than the rest. Thanks to the king's divine medicine, she was out of the woods. As long as she kept resting, she'd be fine. Everyone else was safe, too. Major relief. But then Ao mentioned it had been 4 days since everyone's condition stabilized. Chen froze. 4 days? He checked the system, and holy hell, she was right. 4 whole days gone. Only 11 days left to finish the mission. Time was officially running out. All was worried their king was just staring into thin air like he'd lost it. He tried to stand up, but his body just gave out immediately. She begged him to rest, but Chen wasn't having it. He needed to talk to Stonebone, and he needed him right now. Left alone, Chen's mind was racing. If the others realized he was powerless right now, the whole mission would collapse in a heartbeat. No strength, no deterrence, just a target. They'd move locations, sure, but they needed a fence immediately. And after that, sturdy wooden walls for real protection against whatever was coming next. When Stonebone showed up, Chen kept him outside and whispered secret orders that were for his ears only. Stonebone headed out to handle the job, but Chen knew they still weren't safe. They couldn't afford to repeat their last mistake. Everything had to be foolproof this time, every single detail. Next up, he called in Langucho for another task. The mission? Collect the Black Bull King's bones and hide. And that hide? It needed to be kept as intact as possible. Langucho was shocked when Chen even handed over his own weapon for the job. After they left, Ah tried to get him to rest again. Still a no. He told her he still needed to speak with her and asked her to step inside so they could talk in private. Once they were alone, Chen got serious. He'd sent the others away because he had a high-stakes mission only she could handle. All was all in, maybe two all in. She started taking off her clothes, thinking he wanted something romantic. Talk about awkward. Chen literally yelled at her to put them back on. All realized the mistake and turned beet red instantly. He quickly clarified. He needed her to put on a performance. The goal? Negotiate with the Coconut Grove clan and force them to submit to his rule. All was tense. Would a tribe that big really agree to join them? That was the whole point. They had to put on a massive display of strength and push the Coconut Grove clan to submit right then and there. He chose her for two reasons. One, they were ruled by women, so a woman would have a much better chance at communicating. Two, she was the only one who knew his body was actually a wreck from that last all-out attack. Ointment was helping, but he was far from okay. Ao smiled. She realized the plan was basically one giant, glorious bluff to scare them. She totally got the assignment. She told him to just focus on resting while she handled everything else. A little while later, Sam and Al were trekking toward the Coconut Grove clan's territory. Sam warned her that even if these people weren't fighters, they shouldn't be provoked. Ao just nodded. She knew exactly what she was doing. They finally made it and spotted a spring where the Coconut Grove girls were bathing. Sam pointed out their leader, the one they needed to meet. But before they could make a move, some clan members spotted them. Soon enough, Al and Sam were brought face to face with Lisa, the head of the Coconut Grove clan. The guards reported they'd caught these two sneaking around claiming to be envoys seeking an audience with their leader. Sam tried to explain they were official ambassadors, but Lisa just mocked them. She called Ao a slave and laughed at their meat scraps that couldn't feed a soul. Then she ordered Sam to be separated from Ao. But Ao didn't back down. She told the queen she thought she'd be smarter than this. If not, that mountain of meat they brought, they'd just give it to the Bay Clan instead. That stopped Lisa in her tracks. She told her people to hold on and let Ao keep talking. A mountain of meat? Lisa was skeptical. Ao confirmed it. She was talking about those massive black bulls by the northern river. Lisa asked if they wanted help hunting the herd. Ao just laughed. Don't underestimate us, she said. They'd already wiped out the black bulls. That river area, it belonged to them now. The whole room went quiet. The women were whispering that she had to be lying. That same herd had almost trampled their own clan last time. Lisa stood up, asking if Ao knew what happened to liars. But Ao didn't even flinch. She told her even the biggest bull fell to their king. And if Lisa didn't believe it, she was welcome to come see the proof for herself. When a girl tried to warn Lisa, Ao just laughed it off. She joked that if their king wanted to, he could flatten the entire Coconut Grove clan. Sam backed her up. They weren't there to fight. They brought gifts and an official invitation from the king himself. Ao wasn't playing around. She snapped back, basically telling the queen that if she was too chicken to show up in person, the least she could do was send someone to grab the meat. The sharp edge in their voices, it had Lisa completely on edge. You could practically feel the static in the air. She threw out one final warning, no funny business. A few beats later, Al and Sam finally rolled back in with Lisa's entire squad in tow. Sam tried to act all big, announcing they were back, but Stonebone shut him down fast. Quit the noise and go help with the houses, he barked. The Coconut Grove girls were confused. Houses? What even are those? Meanwhile, Al leaned in and told Chen that their guests had officially arrived. The second Lisa locked eyes with Chen, she froze. She felt this insane wave of killing intent rolling off him like she was standing face to face with some ancient, hungry beast. And honestly, that was the whole point. Chen had intentionally dressed up like a prehistoric nightmare just to mess with their heads. Good job, he told Ao, his heavy presence making Lisa even more twitchy. Then rustle. A sound came from the bushes. It was Mia, Languchi, and An, hiding out. Chen had ordered all the wounded to stay out of sight, but An admitted he was just way too curious to see what this legendary queen actually looked like. Chen kept it professional. thanking Lisa and her clan for actually showing up to his territory like he asked. But one of the Coconut Grove girls didn't care about the small talk. She cut right to the point. "Where's the meat?" she demanded. Chen just gestured nearby. "Take as much as you can carry." When they saw it, total shock. It was a literal mountain of meat. Hu Jan and Luong were already busy carving it up. When one girl stepped up to grab a piece, they warned her, "This stuff is tougher than it looks." She didn't listen. She tried to slice it with a sharpened wooden stick, and snap, the stick broke instantly. Talk about embarrassing. Huang and Hu Jan lost it, laughing their heads off. The girl turned red, screaming that they only got lucky because the bull herd was in total chaos. Hu Jian wasn't having it. He stepped up, asking her if she really wanted to start a fight right here, right now. Boom! Suddenly, Chen's axe slammed into the dirt right between them. The girls scrambled back, terrified. He wasn't about to let this drama escalate. Lisa was visibly rattled. She'd never seen a weapon like that. It made their ironwood branches and bone knives look like literal toys. Chen didn't even blink. He told her to take his legendary Pangu axe and start cutting the meat for her people. Hu Jian tried to complain that the girls started it, but one sharp look from Chen shut him up. He went back to work, muttering that they were lucky he had to listen. Chen looked Lisa in the eye and promised she'd get that meat home without a single problem. He's a man of his word. It's his #1 rule. Still shaken, Lisa asked the big question. How did he actually conquer that massive bull herd? Chen's reply, pure ice. He told her whether she learned through trust or through a painful personal experience depended entirely on what she did next. He told her to pack up and get lost. Lisa just stared him down, calling him the most cold-hearted man she'd ever met. But behind that tough guy act, Chen was struggling. That dramatic axe throw was a bit much, and his wounds were screaming under the bandages. And then disaster. Blood started soaking through. Chen panicked, knowing if they saw him bleed, the illusion of his power would shatter. Luckily, Ao was the ultimate MVP. She distracted Lisa just long enough for him to hide the wound. Talk about a close call. All even tried to offer them some of their high-tier weapons, but Lisa shut it down fast. "Not our style," she said, turning her back. She warned Chen that her clan had their own secret weapons, one she hoped he'd never have to face. The tension was thick enough to cut. And with that, Lisa gave the command, "Take what you can and let's move out." All shouted after them, saying if it wasn't enough, they should come back soon before the other clans come for their share. On the trek back, Lisa dropped the mask. "How's the investigation?" she asked. Suddenly, more girls appeared from the shadows to report. She had spies watching the whole time. One of them, Maya, said the men were building things called houses and they heard boar growls inside. Like, pet boars? Lisa was stunned. Her mind was racing. Why would anyone build such a fine shelter for a bunch of pigs? But Maya had a bigger bombshell. Chen's clan had mastered the power of the fire god. "Impossible," Lisa snapped. But Mia insisted they saw fire appear from thin air and used it to roast the meat. He hesitated, looking nervous to say more, but Lisa wasn't in the mood for games. "Speak plainly." Maya finally spilled it. Chen's entire group was only about 10 people. A few kids, some old men, that was it. Still, she suspected they were hiding their true numbers. Lisa was furious. "Why didn't you search more carefully?" she growled. Maya explained that all the trees had been cleared. Getting closer would have been a suicide mission, so they had to watch from a distance. Lisa just said, "Okay." Then crack, she lashed them with her whip out of nowhere. She warned them that if they brought excuses instead of results next time, the punishment would be way worse than a whipping. Mia bowed, thanking her for the mercy. Back at camp, Chen finally let out a breath as Ah came over to check on him. He admitted the bullfight nearly ended him. He also realized Ah had a real gift for playing people like a fiddle. Then she looked at him, half teasing, and asked, "So, compared to that queen, do you like me better?" Oh boy, here we go. Total panic mode. Chen starts stuttering, telling Ah she's got the vibe all wrong. He calls for backup to keep his recovery on track while Nguchi holds down the fort at the entrance. Ah just shrugs it off and drops a compliment telling him he looks pretty badass. To the awkward blush. Right then, Sam rolls up, basically fanboying over how incredible Chen really is. Turns out, those Coconut Grove spies were exactly where Chen predicted. Strategy level, mastermind. But he's already focused on the next task. Mission accomplished. Sam handled the deception perfectly. The enemy saw only what Chen allowed, completely missing the real moves. A little praise goes a long way. Sam's face literally lights up, humble as ever about his hard work. Sam heads off to help the boys build the new base. But Ao is skeptical. Can they really get the Coconut Grove clan to join peacefully? Chen keeps it real. It's too early to call. The play is only half-baked right now. The next time those guys show their faces, that's when the real trap springs and the second half begins. Back to the shed for some much-needed rest. Only 11 days left on the clock, and his HP is nowhere near full. He checks the stash. Talk about slim pickings, just a packet of salt and one tiny tube of healing ointment left. Wait, what? His basic axe evolved into the legendary Axe of Pangu. Chen's jaw hits the floor. When did this even happen? It must have triggered earlier when he handed it off to Langu. He's actually low-key stressed that he missed such a massive power-up, and he checks the spears. The unlock condition? Getting wrecked in a fight. Talk about a no pain, no gain system. This creating the world skill is no joke. The timing has to be frame perfect. Too early or too late, and it's game over. He wonders if his other gear has hidden buffs, but honestly, it's too much of a headache to overthink right now. Every weapon has its own secret trigger. At this point, he's just going to trust his luck and leave it to fate. Since that healing cream is almost empty, he decides to hoard it. You never know when you'll truly be on death's door. If things get desperate, he'll just have to use that new Pangu axe to hunt whatever's lurking nearby. Stolen meat won't last more than 2 days. Time's ticking, so he calls for Sam. He needs his best scout back on the field. No rest for the weary. Sam shows up ready for orders, wondering what the next move is. Remember those massive black bulls they scared off? Find them in 48 hours. Chen orders, I need intel, and I need it fast. Sam doesn't even blink. He's gone in a flash, shouting that he won't come back empty-handed. Watching his team grind, Chen decides it's time to show some appreciation. While Sam hunts bulls, Chen gets to work on some special gifts. Fast forward 2 days. The mission clock is ticking down, only 9 days remaining. Technical points earned. He's been busy crafting stone spearheads, a bone whistle, and a pretty slick bullhorn water flask. The whistle is for stone bone. It's a total game changer for signaling during the chaos of a hunt or a full-blown raid. Spearheads make their wooden weapons way more lethal. And that flask? That's Sam's reward for all the hustle. All rolls up with the best news, yet the houses are finally finished. Chen heads over to inspect their new home. Stonebone is beaming with pride, showing off their handiwork. He practically shouts, pretty epic, right? Honestly, it's not exactly a luxury villa, but Chen gives the thumbs up anyway. The whole tribe erupts in cheers. No more living like animals in cages. Even though Chen's still a bit stressed, seeing their joy hits different. Stonebone slides the final straw door into place. Boom. Home sweet home. And more technical points in the bag. Looking around, Chen realizes just how far these guys have come since he arrived. At first, they were basically like wild animals just surviving on raw meat and pure instinct. Now, they're actually acting like a community. Their intelligence is skyrocketing right before his eyes. It's like the system is putting evolution on fast forward. He heads back to rest, telling them to alert him the second Sam returns. It doesn't take long. Sam comes charging in, yelling at the top of his lungs that he found them. Good job, Sam. Now, it's go time. Phase 2 of the master plan officially starts now. Everyone, follow the leader. Chen lays out the whole strategy and looks around. Everyone got that? Any questions before we move out? Stonebone is low-key shaking, worried about the risk, but Sam just claps him on the shoulder. Relax, man. I've got this. Sam's taking the point. All Stonebone has to do is keep the rest of the squad in line when it matters. Chen hands the bone whistle to Stonebone. Commanding is about to get a lot easier. He winks at Sam, promising his gift later. Sam is hyped. Chen just smiles, reminding everyone that once he gives the signal, they need to move like lightning. Just like that, the squad disperses. It's time to show everyone what they're really made of. Chen was feeling the pressure. Manpower? Non-existent. He had to put even the injured guys back to work just to stay afloat. So, he gave AU the signal. Tell Mia and Lenguchi to stack up a massive bonfire right in front of the house, but don't light it yet. Al looked at him, curious. Was this all for the guests about to crash their party? Chen nodded. He was playing a dangerous game, wondering if the bait they'd dropped 2 days ago would actually lure them in. Then there, a girl on watch spotted a massive group from the Coconut Grove clan moving toward their camp. She didn't waste a second. She sprinted back, shouting the news. The Coconut Grove clan was finally here. Inside the house, all had been taking care of him, and honestly, our boy Chen was absolutely loving the attention. He even started daydreaming. Once he brought the Coconut Grove clan to their knees, he'd have both Lisa and Al looking after him. Talk about a power move. The moment the visitors arrived, Al stepped out to meet them. She greeted Lisa with a smirk, telling her their king was waiting inside the palace. Palace? That one word hit Lisa like a truck. How on earth did these people turn a basic straw hut into a literal wooden house this fast? She couldn't stop staring. The speed of this clan's transformation was just unreal. Lisa kept her cool, mocking him. Was her king too scared to even show his face? She claimed they didn't want to cause trouble, but this time, they were taking way more meat as payment. Plus, she brought her whole crew along to meet the neighbors. A subtle threat, basically saying, hope my girls don't scare your people too much. All just laughed it off. Their king was 10 steps ahead. He'd already prepped 40 portions of meat. Lisa was free to take them all. Though, looking at her group, she definitely hadn't brought 40 people to carry it. Lisa changed tactics. She asked Al why she didn't just jump ship to the Coconut Grove clan, even offering her a spot right by her side. Ao gave a polite thanks, but no thanks. She'd already been completely won over by her king's sheer strength and charisma. He led them straight to the meat storage. Her message? If you can't carry it all, just sit down and eat your fill right here, right on the spot. And hey, if cutting the meat was too much work, Chen's warriors would be happy to help. Lisa told her people to stay put and eat while she went to handle Chen herself. When she stepped inside, Chen greeted her with a smooth, easy smile. Seeing him in that refined setting, Lisa actually felt a bit of a flush. She tried to stay poised, though. She asked if this was really his place, admitting it didn't look half bad for a temporary setup. Chen saw her curiosity and decided to flex a little harder. He told her this was just a starter home. Once the real palace was done, he'd just hand this one over to the tribes. Lisa froze. Was he seriously planning to let common tribespeople live in luxury like this? Chen didn't blink. Yeah, it's a bit rough for now, but soon, he'd have them all living in solid stone houses. And bam, out of nowhere, Lisa lashed out with her whip, binding Chen tight and pulling him in close. Chen tensed up. What's the move here, Lisa? Lisa smirked. She claimed no one knew men better than she did, and she had plenty of ways to make him hand over his secrets. She leaned in, wondering if this would be enough to finally break his composure. Chen was definitely feeling the heat. It was a bit too stimulating, honestly, but he kept his poker face and laughed. Did she really think he'd walk into this without a backup plan? But inside, Chen was low-key panicking. He had zero backup. Things were spiraling, and with his injuries still fresh, a real fight was the last thing he needed. Just then, thank God, Al walked in to announce the feast was ready. When Al saw the state they were in, she totally froze. She blurted out that Chen really shouldn't be doing whatever this was. Lisa let go of the whip, and Chen acted like nothing happened. Talk time's over. Let's go get some barbecue. He asked Al if the fire was ready. Meanwhile, Lisa was stumped. Was Chen really that calm, or was he just too brave for his own good? Compared to her own people, the way he carried himself was just different. On another level. Outside, the Coconut Grove girls were already having a blast. They called Lisa over, shouting about how the grilled meat smelled absolutely incredible. Chen handed Ao some salt to share. Ao went around, telling everyone to sprinkle just a little bit on their meat to unlock the real flavor. Lisa was immediately suspicious. She demanded to know exactly what AU was putting on their food. Ao didn't miss a beat. If you're scared, don't eat. But once Lisa saw her own clan members losing their minds over the taste, she knew it was the real deal. Chen watched them eat, satisfied. The plan was working. He just needed to keep them busy while Sam and Stonebone finished their secret mission. Cut to the forest. Stonebone and the crew were lurking near the Black Bulls. Lu Tang was confused. Why are we hunting again? We've got plenty of food. Stonebone shut him down fast. They weren't there to hunt. He told Lu Tang to stop asking questions and just follow the damn orders. Then the signal from Hangu. They all launched their spears at the Black Bulls, sending the entire herd into a blind panic. Stonebone yelled a warning. The bulls were charging straight at Sam. But Sam didn't flinch. He dropped from a tree like a predator, burying his spear deep into a bull's neck. Direct hit. Sam cheered as he landed. This beast was his now. The wounded bull started thrashing wildly, a literal engine of destruction, but Sam stood his ground. He knew he could handle this. He had to. From way off, Hangu sees the herd veering east. Stonebone gives the signal, and Sam realizes, wait, they're going the wrong way. He wrenches the bull to the right, forcing it to charge west instead. Meanwhile, back at Chen's place, the Coconut Grove girls are just chilling, enjoying their meal. Chen is waiting for his cue when suddenly boom. A guard from the Coconut Grove clan comes sprinting toward the den, looking absolutely terrified. Lisa jumps up, demanding to know what's wrong. The girl is in tears, barely able to speak through the panic. She chokes out the news. A herd of crazed black bulls just tore through their camp, wrecking everything in sight. Their defenders? Completely overwhelmed. Lisa's on her feet in a heartbeat. She orders everyone back to the base, fuming and swearing she's going to make those mad bulls pay. But inside, she's rattled. Her clan always gave those black bulls a wide berth, so why the sudden attack? Something doesn't add up. It's total chaos at the camp. The girls are firing slingshots, but the stones just bounce off those beasts like they're nothing. They've got no choice left. They dive straight into the fray, rushing into hand-to-hand combat to save their sisters trapped below. One girl jumps down and almost gets gored, but just in time, crack. Lisa arrives, snaring the bull's leg with her whip. Hope returns to the girl's eyes the moment they see her. Lisa screams at the beasts, absolutely livid that they dared to hurt her people. She brings one bull down, but it's not enough. The beast lunges back up and slams into Lisa, sending her flying and knocking the whip from her hand. Suddenly, Chen's there. He catches her mid-air just in time, asking if she's okay. Talk about a perfect entrance. Lisa's frustrated but stays focused. She's fine, she says, But she's still reeling. Where did these bulls even come from? Right nearby, the actual culprits, Hangshu, Sam, and the rest are awkwardly hiding their faces. Yeah, they know exactly what happened. Chen turns his gaze to the bulls and barks out a challenge. Did you forget the pain once your scars healed? He growls. The bulls roar, stepping closer. Chen tenses up. Is his cloak made from the skin of the Black Bull King not intimidating enough to scare them? Relief hits as the bull finally starts backing down. Chen shouts to the others, realizing the herd must have a brand new leader. He mocks the new boss, saying it looks way weaker than the last one. Since you're here, he laughs, you might as well stay. Instantly, Chen's clan charges. Stonebone yells at Sam to keep his eyes on the prize, the bull boss itself. With a boost from Stonebone, Sam leaps onto the beast's back, fighting to tame it. Chen watches, impressed the kid's a natural rider. While the chaos continues, Chen tells Lisa to get out of there. But she's stubborn. The herd hasn't scattered yet, and she won't leave. Chen holds her back, warning her that she just can't handle these monsters. It's a whole different level of danger. He didn't bring enough backup, so charging in now would basically be a death sentence. Lisa goes quiet, realizing he's right. Chen makes his move again. Why not move your people to my place? He asks. A safe spot to recover before they retake their land. He promises them food, shelter, and real protection. All chimes in too, telling Lisa to actually look at the state of her warriors. They're in no shape to fight. Does she really want to watch them throw their lives away for a lost cause? Finally, Lisa gives the order. The Coconut Grove clan will tend to the wounded and retreat north, straight to Chen's territory. A girl named Ayan is fuming. She hates this, but you don't defy the queen. She snaps at the injured to start following Chen's people. Chen puts Ao in charge of the escort mission. Ao agrees immediately, and the group begins the trek back. Meanwhile, the fight rages on. Stonebone sees Ayan jumping in and tells her to back off if she's scared. They've handled these bulls before. She ignores him and dives in anyway. Chen just tells Stonebone to let her be and keep his focus on winning this thing. He's gotta admit, those girls have heart. Fast forward to evening, and everyone has finally made it back to Chen's camp. Maya's there to welcome them, looking so relieved that everyone actually made it back home in one piece. He asks about the rest of the crew, and AAU explains that Chen stayed behind to hold the line while the injured escaped. Maya tells the Coconut Grove girls they can stay in the houses they just finished. She lets out a massive sigh of relief. Thinking back, if they hadn't pushed through their own injuries to finish those buildings, these girls would have nowhere to sleep tonight. Later, Ao finds Lisa and tells her everyone's fed and safe. You don't need to worry anymore, she says, reassuring her. She tells Lisa to get some rest for now. Lisa just gives a quiet, weary thank you in return. Ao breathes a sigh of relief. Everything is going perfectly, exactly like Chen said it would. The whole goal was to bring the Coconut Grove clan under their wing at the lowest cost possible. They couldn't afford another bloodbath. Next morning, Mia checks in with Hu Xiao to see if everything went smoothly during the night. Hu Xiao nods. He'd been standing guard all night, nothing happened, just total silence. A's standing, watch outside Lisa's place when a shadow falls over her. She looks up and sees Mia has come over. What do you want? Ao asks immediately. Mia just smiles. Their king has invited Lisa to the palace for a very important chat. The scene shifts back to Chen. He's busy checking his system and getting a feel for his new stats when Lisa suddenly stops by for a chat. Lisa doesn't hold back. She says Ao told her all about the plan to merge the clans, and her answer? A hard NO. She just can't bring herself to agree to it. She warns Chen not to think he can bully her just because the Coconut Grove clan is currently at a low point. But Chen? He just keeps it cool and tells her he's not forcing anyone. Here's the thing, he's offering a trade. He can teach her people how to build proper houses, craft better weapons, and even master the secret of fire. The price? The Coconut Grove clan merges with his tribe. He asks her one more time to accept his offer and come under his protection for good. Chen steps closer, his voice dropping low. He tells her that, in this world, having courage alone just isn't enough to survive. He reminds her that she knows the brutality of the Bei clan and those stone giants better than anyone. Right now, she's like an injured fawn, and it won't be long before the bloodthirsty beasts smell her and come hunting. Frustrated and hit by the truth, Lisa snaps at him to stop talking. She knows the risks, but it's not that simple. How can she force all the girls in her clan to just submit to his rule without a fight? Lisa asks him point blank if he's truly ready to take on that kind of challenge. Chen, he just gives a confident smile and agrees. Let the games begin. Once they step outside, Chen addresses the girls of the Coconut Grove. Since their queen is wounded and can't duel, he says it's only fair that he sits this one out too. Instead, Chen declares a champion Stonebone will be fighting in his place. Stonebone lets out a laugh, looking around to see who's brave enough to face him. Ayun doesn't hesitate for a second. She steps forward and accepts the challenge. Stonebone grins, telling her not to get wrecked too quickly. Ayun just shoots back a glare, warning him to keep an eye out for her eagle bone weapon. The duel kicks off. Ayun hurls a bone knife straight at Stone Bone. He's about to laugh it off until he realizes something terrifying. Chen is standing right behind him. If he dodges, Chen gets hit. Stone Bone has no choice but to tank it, raising his axe to block the first blade. But then, a second knife slips through and grazes his helmet. It wasn't a deep wound, but man, it made him pissed. Losing his cool, Stone Bone charges at Ayun with pure, brutal force. Ayun is nearly crushed under the pressure, when suddenly, another girl leaps out from the crowd and throws a hidden knife at Stone Bone's head. Talk about a dirty play. Taking the opening, Ayun sweeps him off his feet and sends him crashing. Stone Bone screams that he's been ambushed. The duel is a total sham now. As he hits the dirt, Ayun doesn't stop. She snatches up a knife and lunges straight for Chen's throat. But Chen, he doesn't even flinch. He's always 10 steps ahead. He'd already posted Huang Shi as his guardian. Hidden up on the palace roof, Huang hurls a spear with pinpoint accuracy to shield his leader. The spear connects, sending Ayun flying. Instantly, the Coconut Grove girls rush to her side, screaming at Chen in a total rage. They're shouting cheater, accusing him of luring them into his territory just to trap them with some twisted scheme. Tension is at a breaking point as Stone Bone and Ayun both gear up for a bloodbath. The girls beg Lisa for the order, claiming they can wipe everyone here out right now. Even Chen starts to feel the heat. This is getting out of hand fast. An assassination attempt was definitely not in his plan. He wonders if the girls are trying to start a full-blown war, and if Lisa was the one who ordered it, or if she's just as shocked as he is. He figures if the queen ordered the hit, he might have to take her as a hostage. But then, something unexpected happens. Lisa furiously orders her people to stand down. She shouts at them, asking if they really thought such a pathetic scheme could fool her. She declares she'll never allow friends who help them to be treated so shamefully. Lisa says she won't waste time hunting down everyone involved in the plot, but she makes it clear. The duel is over, and they lost. Then she looks at Chen, explaining that Ayun is their bravest, most loyal warrior. Without Ayun, the clan's pride would have been lost long ago. Lisa admits she knows Chen has extraordinary, almost godlike abilities. So, she humbles herself and asks, is he generous enough to spare Ayun's life? If he does, the Coconut Grove clan will be in his debt forever. Chen keeps a stern face, but inside, he's breathing a huge sigh of relief. This turned out way better than it could have. Finally, the situation is back under his thumb. Thinking of his special healing ointment, he tells Lisa to relax. Ayun isn't going to die after all. They're all allies now. One of the girls begs him to hurry up. Ayun is fading fast, her life hanging by a thread. As Chen goes to help, he decides he'll overlook the assassination attempt for the sake of the big picture. Still, he can't just let her off completely, scotangent-free. Actions have consequences, right? So, he uses just a tiny bit of medicine enough to keep Ayun alive, but not enough to fully heal her. Plus, he needs to save the rest of the ointment for his own injuries. After patching her up, he tells the others to carry her home, promising she'll be back on her feet in a few days. Seeing the miracle heal, the Coconut Grove girls start praising Chen like he's some kind of god. Chen walks over to Lisa, pulls her close, and asks if her people are ready to merge now. Her face flushes with pure happiness, and she finally says the word he's been waiting for, yes. Smiling, Chen tells Lisa she can keep leading her girls, as long as they follow his ultimate command. But then, Lisa says she has one last request. She wants Chen to become her official partner, a real ceremony to make it set in stone. Hearing that, Chen's face turns bright red with pure delight. To him, this feels like a legendary gift just dropped straight into his lap from the heavens. He starts picturing it all: the wedding, the exchange of rings, their first night together, raising a daughter, watching her grow up, getting old side by side, and finally heading into the afterlife together. Talk about a dream come true. Chen was making some seriously weird faces, and Lisa noticed. She got all anxious. Was he actually getting cold feet about their partner ceremony? Our guy panicked and said he was totally down, pulling her into a big hug. Then he told her to just chill and heal up while he needed some prep time of his own. Smooth, Chen. He told the rest of the crew to take a breather too. See you guys in a few days for the big wedding, he basically said. Right then, the system chimed in. Boom. The tribe was officially a thing. Now, it just needed a name. He checked the stats and, wait, 46 people? He was missing 4. Where the heck did they go? He dubbed them the newbie tribe, fitting, right? But his mind was already on the Bakelin. Maybe he could snag some prisoners to boost the numbers. Here's the catch though, would captives even count toward the total population? The system is usually pretty picky about that stuff. Just then, he caught some Coconut Grove girls gossiping. They used to think his smile was cute, but now, they were convinced he'd end up like all the men who became the queen's partners before. And by partners, they meant chopped into little pieces and served for dinner. Yeah, Chen froze solid. Queen literally ate her men. Suddenly, it made sense why there were almost 0 guys in that clan. absolutely terrifying. Someone crept up behind him and he nearly jumped out of his skin, begging for his life. It was just Mia, looking at him like he'd lost his mind. Still shaking, he asked what she wanted. Mia didn't hold back. She asked if he was seriously going to become that rude woman, Lisa's partner. Chen sighed. Honestly, he was starting to think he'd rushed into this way too fast. Time for a major rethink. Mia's eyes lit up. Chen basically admitted he thought he was getting a sweet bride, but Lisa was looking more like a literal praying mantis. Mia started doing a victory dance until Ayu showed up, killing the vibe and asking why she wasn't resting like she was told. Mia blushed hard, admitting she just wanted to be near Chen, but our boy was stressed. He needed space. He told the Coconut Grove girls to go help build the camp instead. Ayu didn't argue and started leading Mia back to the group. Mia wasn't giving up. She kept shouting for him to pick her over Lisa. Eventually, Chen knew he had to go have a talk with Lisa about all this. Next morning, the vibes were actually great. Everyone was working together, and the Coconut Grove crew was even helping build houses. He headed over to the farm area where the new girls had set up their temporary camp. One spotted him and asked if he was looking for the queen. If so, she pointed, she's down by the river. She announced that the king had arrived, and Lisa immediately cleared the area. Once they were alone, she asked if something urgent had happened. Chen played it cool. Nope, just checking on how your wounds are healing, he said. Classic deflection. Told him she'd be 100% in 2 or 3 days. Then, she got bold asking if he wanted to start the romance part of the deal early. Chen was stiff as a board. No thanks. He then asked for her name. Just Lisa, she told him. Apparently, that was the name the former queen gave her, but she hadn't heard a soul use it since she got exiled. That just made Chen even more nervous. It was either follow orders or get kicked out. Might as well rename the whole place the Praying Mantis Tribe at this rate. Finally bit the bullet and asked where the former queen's partners were. Lisa's answer? They were all eaten. Direct and terrifying. It was an old tradition. Queens in her clan ate their mates to absorb their power. Like a literal power-up from hell. Chen was about to bolt, but then Lisa mentioned that was the old ways. She had zero plans to turn him into a snack. He felt a bit better, but then he asked if she'd ever tasted human. I've never had a partner, she said, so I never had the chance. Great. Chen hightailed it out of there, saying he had to go prepare for the ceremony. On his way back, he started wondering, if he wasn't going to be eaten, maybe he should reconsider Mia after all. Decisions. But then Lisa dropped a bombshell. She doesn't eat people. Sure, but if anyone crosses her later, the punishment would be absolutely brutal. A bit later, Chen walked through the living area, watching everyone hustle. The clock was ticking, only 7 days left for the mission. He needed those prisoners now. He told Stonebone he was heading out for a while. He left Stonebone in charge. If anything goes south, send someone to find me at the beach to the south, he ordered. Cut to the South Sea beach, and man, what a nightmare. Chen stood there, completely shocked at the scene before him. Was this it? Had the entire Bay clan just been wiped out? Dodo birds were just chilling among the corpses, so he figured it was safe. He checked a body still fresh, no smell of decay. This just happened. The blood was barely dry. Whatever battle killed these guys, it was very recent. Then he saw the wounds. Sharp, claw-like gashes that matched their own fingers. Were these water lunatics actually killing each other? This changed everything. Finding survivors wasn't just a mission anymore, it was a race against time. He found one body with no marks at all, but the face? Pure agony. Like he died in the worst way possible. While Chen was trying to solve the puzzle, Sam burst out of nowhere, screaming. A group of Baeklan warriors was currently tearing their home base apart. Chen didn't waste a second, bolting straight back toward the base. Back at the base, Stonebone was barking orders, stay close, conserve energy, and get ready for a messy, close-quarters brawl. Wooden spears flew, but those Baeklan maniacs didn't even flinch, no scratches, nothing. Stonebone yelled for everyone to keep their cool and just fight with everything they had. It's one rule, don't let any of them drag you into the water. In the river, you're dead. The lunatics charged, but a rain of heavy stones broke their rhythm, and just in time, Queen Lisa's reinforcements finally arrived. Lisa was stunned. What is even happening here? She asked Stonebone. Are these actually Baeklan warriors? Why were Southerners raiding their base out of nowhere? Stonebone just shook his head. He had zero answers for her. They just erupted from the South River like absolute madmen. Then, total carnage as the two groups slammed into each other in a brutal fight. Lisa dived into the fray, trying to talk sense into the attackers, but they were silent, empty. Something was seriously wrong with these guys. While Lisa was busy trading blows with one attacker, this massive brute tried to catch her off guard. Chen intercepted with a full-power swing, but the monster just took it like it was nothing. Absolute tank. Two more tried to swarm Chen, but Hangu and Lan Gui weren't having it, dropping them with some precision strikes to knock them out. Their message was clear. If the Baeklan wanted their king, they'd have to crawl over their corpses first, and gave them a nod. Good work. You guys handle those smaller freaks. He told Lisa to back them up while he focused everything on the monster in front of him. Lisa didn't hesitate, she was in. "I'm counting on you guys," Chen shouted, "at least until I settle things here." He shouted at the big guy, saying he had no idea what happened to the Bakelin, but they were definitely attacking the wrong target. Nothing. The brute just lunged again anyway. Chen tensed up. Was this guy even human anymore? Had he lost the ability to speak? The sheer, explosive power coming off this lunatic was terrifying. Chen was absolutely stunned. He was several times faster and stronger than any normal human. Against this freak, Chen felt like a glass cannon, all damage, no defense. And with his own people everywhere, he couldn't even risk using his axe's hidden skill without hitting them too. That split second of hesitation cost him. The lunatic lunged and clamped its teeth right onto Chen's hand. Luckily, he yanked back just in time. The Bull King's cloak took the hit. Without it, his left hand would have been ripped clean off. The lunatic went ballistic, charging with even more speed. Chen barely dodged, but the brute managed to tear the cloak away instead. Chen's blood ran cold. How was it getting even faster? If he hadn't slipped free of that cloak, he'd be a dead man. Then, something weird happened. The lunatic just stopped. It froze for a second, then actually started backing away. Chen's instincts kicked in. The brute hadn't targeted him, it had only torn off the blood-stained part of the cloak. He looked around and noticed Ayun was the only one being swarmed by a huge group of attackers. That was the light bulb moment. They were tracking by the smell of blood. Pure instinct. Chen immediately started cooking up a plan to use that. Right then, Sam popped back up. "What's the move, boss? What do you need?" Chen's order was bizarre. "Go grab 3 cubs from the pigsty." Sam was floored. Weren't they saving those boars for later? Chen didn't have time for a debate. "Just do it," he barked at Sam. He was fuming. Sacrificing 3 prime boars was a heavy price that he'd make them pay for later. He then told Lisa to pull all the wounded out. Sam came back with the cubs. Chen's command was simple. Let those boar cubs loose toward the river. The terrified boars didn't need telling twice. They bolted straight for the water, desperate for some kind of safety. Huang Shu was ready, tagging the cubs with spears. The second blood spilled. Every lunatic turned like a pack of wolves and started tearing them apart, while the maniacs were busy feasting on the cubs, and ordered everyone to cut their spears with paralysis drugs, stay away from the vitals. But then, Hangu noticed something even weirder. Chen looked over and saw the lunatics twitching uncontrollably before just dropping. One by one, they all hit the ground. Chen was livid. "Sam, did you poison those cubs?" Sam swore he had nothing to do with it. This didn't feel right. Chen told everyone to keep their distance and stay on high alert. Something was definitely off. He couldn't wrap his head around it. Later, the scene shifted where the entire Bakelin squad was locked behind bars at the farm. Ayun kept the guards sharp. "Don't blink," she warned. "We don't know if any of them will move again." When the captives finally woke, the madness was gone. They were begging for help. Ayun immediately sent a girl to inform King Chen. Chen arrived to a strange sight. The fierce warriors were gone now. They were just desperate people begging for a drink of water. Chen's first move? Finding Hector, the big boss of the Bei clan. Ayun points him out apparently. They've got him totally isolated from the rest of the prisoners. When Chen finally reaches the cage, it's a grim sight. Hector's begging for water like his life depends on it. Chen doesn't say a word, just splashes some from a bottle right onto him to wake him up. "Can you even understand me?" Chen asks. Hector nods. "Good, he's still in there." Chen hands the rest of the interrogation over to Ayun. Ayun gives the guy a drink, telling him to take as much as he needs. But get this, Hector actually asks for his people too. He's begging Chen to share the water with his whole clan. Ayun assures him everyone's being taken care of. But now, it's time for some answers. She asks if he's finally ready to talk. Hector's eyes flare with tension. He demands to know why they were even attacked just for wanting some damn water. He adds that he'd heard rumors the Giant Stone clan were strange, but this was beyond bizarre. Ayun stops him right there. "Wait, you think WE are the Giant Stone clan?" Hector looks like he's seen a ghost. Total shock. No one ever told him that Chen's people were a completely different group. Ayun sets him straight. "We're the newbie tribe, and Chen here is our king." Hector's just blank. He's never even heard of a so-called newbie tribe before. He figures the Giant Stone clan must have driven them far away from their original home. But Ayun shakes her head. Wrong again. She lays it out plain and simple. Hector was captured because he attacked their territory. The newbie clan? They've never even had dealings with the Giant Stone clan. "You guys charged in like rabid beasts," she tells him. Hector's head is spinning. He refuses to believe it, saying he has zero memory of anything she's describing. So, Ayun changes tactics. "Fine. Then tell us what you do remember," Hector starts explaining. His clan was just living peacefully near the South Fish, passing the time with their usual games and a bit of infighting. Typical daily life. Then, everything went south. One of the kids ran up to him, crying his eyes out. saying someone had snatched his pet dodo bird. Hector told the kid to be brave and fight for his own stuff, thinking it was just someone like Scaly being a jerk. But the kid was terrified. "No," he said. "It was those weird people." Hector looked up, and his heart sank. Men from the giant stone clan. He was absolutely furious, demanding to know why they were trespassing on his territory. The leader of the giant stone clan didn't say a word. He just gave the signal, and his people tore into the Bay clan with everything they had. Hector was stunned. A total ambush out of nowhere. He couldn't even wrap his head around why any of this was happening. He says he got knocked out cold in the middle of the chaos. When he woke up, he was already locked in a cage by the newbie clan. Then Chen drops a bombshell. He visited the village earlier, and no one was left alive. If we hadn't saved the survivors here, Chen adds, the Bay clan would be extinct by now. That hits Hector like a truck. The weight of it, the failure to protect his people, it completely breaks him. Suddenly, something falls from Hector's clothes. Ayan scoops it up and shows it to Chen. Look at this. Chen scans it with his system. It's industrial hemp, a herb known for numbing pain but also for causing wild hallucinations when smoked. Chen's instantly on high alert. This changes the whole game. Was the giant stone clan behind this the entire time? While everyone else is busy handing out water, Chen goes around and checks every captive. The same leaf. Every single one of them had the same strange clue on them. He remembers what Sam said about the giant stone clan leader, how he'd supposedly gained some kind of divine power. But looking at this, it doesn't look like the work of a god. This feels a lot more like pure evil. Pieces click together. The hemp likely drove the Bay clan into a mindless rage, making them attack each other and then the newbie tribe. This wasn't random. It was a setup. If the giant stone clan sent the Bay clan here just to cause havoc and die, it means one thing. The newbie tribe has already been marked as a threat. Even a guy like Hector, with all that raw, terrifying strength, was turned into someone else's mindless puppet. The giant stone clan, they're an absolute nightmare. Chen pulls up his stats. 3 points of strength? Yeah, that's not going to cut it. He needs to level up, and he needs to do it before the real threat arrives. Ayan rushes over with a warning. Hector's on the verge of a total mental collapse. If he snaps, they lose their only source of info. But Chen's cold about it. We don't have time to wait for him to recover. Danger could strike at any second. Ayun's worried. You think the giant stone clan is already planning an attack on our base? Chen admits it's hard to explain, but he's certain. The giant stone clan used those hemp leaves to control the Bay clan like literal dolls. No one knows what's coming next, Chen stresses. They have to trigger Hector's memory fast. Then he turns to Stone Bone, telling him to stop beating himself up over the fight. Once someone breathes in that toxic hemp smoke, raw strength doesn't mean a thing. You're just a passenger in your own body. Chen holds the leaf up right in front of Hector's eyes. Look at this. The second Hector sees it, his expression shifts. That smell. It's familiar. It's coming back to him. He vaguely remembers catching that scent while fighting those bastards, even if it was buried under a dozen other smells. It was sharp, disgusting, he mutters. Chen's expression hardens. Is the giant stone clan using multiple poisonous plants? Chen realizes they have to figure out what every herb does before they even think about a counterattack. Hector looks up at him, fire in his eyes. Are you going after them, King Chen? He clenches his fist. The Bay clan. We want in. If he doesn't get revenge for his people, he'll regret it for the rest of his life. The war has officially begun. Revenge! The Bay clan survivors were practically screaming for blood, ready to do whatever it takes to get even. Chen did the math in his head. He still needed more bodies for the main quest, but with these guys, he was only 4 people short. Almost there. Suddenly, Hector chimed in with something actually useful. Apparently, these guys have noses like bloodhounds. They can sniff out toxic herbs from a mile away, a total game changer for Chen. But Chen wasn't celebrating yet. In fact, that specific detail was exactly what was keeping him up at night. Sure, they can track herbs, but those sensitive noses also pick up blood. If the Bay clan loses control again, we're talking a total bloodbath. Complete disaster. Hector wasn't having it. He shouted back that as long as that poisonous smoke wasn't in the air, they could keep their cool. No problem at all. Chen nodded. The giant stone clan was the real enemy here. But what if the smoke comes back mid-battle? Hector's face fell. If it came to that, he said they'd simply refuse to fight. Look, Chen got it. The urge for revenge is a powerful drug. But he warned them pure rage and hatred? That's not a strategy. It won't solve anything. Plus, he dropped a truth bomb. Tor might not be on board with whatever crazy plan Hector was cooking up. Hector didn't blink. We're the last of our kind, he said. If Chen helped them get justice, their lives belonged to him. Total loyalty. The deal was on the table. Join the tribe, swear your soul to the newbie clan, and Chen would personally guarantee their revenge. There was a catch. He made it crystal clear not every single Bay clan member gets a front row seat to the war. So, what's it going to be? Hector and the rest of the Bei clan didn't even hesitate. They accepted. Immediately, as Chen turned to leave, Hector called out one last time. Chen knew what he wanted. He signaled Au and Ayun. Let him out. Free them from those cages. Allies. Finally. And just like that, the system pinged tribe mission. Complete. Talk about perfect timing. The loot was insane. 3 attribute points, a massive material chest, and a heritage plaque for finishing within 7 days. Plus, a surprise gift pack. Jackpot. Finally, Chen could breathe. Quest over. He didn't overthink it and dumped all 3 points straight into strength. Time to get buff. The second he assigned those points, boom. A literal tidal wave of raw power ripped through his entire body. He could feel the energy surging under his skin. When it settled, he noticed his hair had shot out in length. A side effect of the power-up? Weird, but okay. Next up, the rewards. He cracked open the material chest and found 1 ton of hematite. 1 ton. Chen was losing his mind. This meant they could skip the whole Bronze Age and jump straight into the Iron Age. Talk about a shortcut. Then came the surprise pack. He was praying for a win, and he got it 3 jars of hematic ointment. Way better than the last haul, honestly. Finally, he called for the big one, the heritage plaque. System, bring it out. It was a civilization item. The only problem? Unlocking its secrets was going to cost 10 technology points. No hesitation. He spent the points, the identification finished, and Chen received a plaque called Sense of Modesty. At first glance, it might sound small, but Chen knew this was a massive leap for their civilization's growth. And honestly, he was relieved. No more guys and girls bathing together in the open. He definitely didn't want anyone seeing Lisa like that. But enough about that. He turned back to the bigger headache, the Giant Stone clan. How was he going to handle those monsters? That's when Ao arrived and, wow, she was floored. Chen was taller, broader, and absolutely ripped compared to before. Chen played it cool and asked what she needed. Ao asked if he wanted her to negotiate with the Giant Stone clan to clear up any misunderstandings. Misunderstanding? Chen scoffed. Not a chance. Those guys had already decided to wipe them off the map. This was the newbie clan's toughest test yet. These guys weren't just strong, they were dangerous. The type to manipulate everyone and profit from the chaos. Ao was shaking, unable to hide her fear. So, what do we do? The plan? Turtle up, strengthen the defenses, stock up on food, and for the love of God,